right, Joe. So it's been a few weeks since the race in Abu Dhabi, and
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of reconvene us to discuss the Michael Masi situation. You know,
Mm.
the clown of
Yeah.
the FIA.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And wanted to kind of discuss things because there was this article that came out of Spain on their version of April Fools, which was December
Mm.
28th.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that they were talking about, Mohammed Ben Sulian, or excuse me if I mispronounce his last name, but Mohammed Ben, who was going to be the new FIA director, said, "Oh no, we're going to keep Massey and we're going to give him more power." And
Mm.
before I learned that it was a joke, I said, "No, really?" like, I can't
Yeah.
believe this news.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so I wanted to kind of bounce it back and forth with you. I mean, we watched this joke happen live, at the
Yeah.
end of the season. So,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts, on Massey and the whole thing?
I mean, Messi. To be honest, I don't think he will come back, and I don't think that if he even come back, I don't think people will like it for sure. That's
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and I think a lot of drivers are gonna judge him, and a lot of teams are gonna judge him because the way he maneuvered the race,
yeah,
and and like quote unquote give Max the title.
yeah,
This situation, it's a poison. It's very toxic, I think, and I think that even if he went back, even if he go back to the race as a director, it will actually be fun to watch how he's gonna maneuver the race again.
dude. I mean, it'll be pure chaos for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know, like things can happen in Formula One. Like things can happen rapidly in Formula One. So we shall never say something that it's not gonna happen or it's gonna happen. Fingers crossed.
No, that's a very good point, like, and that's where that article, even if it was a joke, is very interesting, right? Because,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I think there is a huge black cloud over Massey, I don't think a lot of the team directors respect or appreciate him, to be honest. I mean, imagine if what he pulled on Mercedes and Hamilton happened to you, if you're Ferrari, Haas, like, any of the other, teams that are out there
Right.
right now. I don't think you, or even if you were Red Bull and you were in the lead, and then all of a sudden, you get this call that basically determines an entire season of
Right.
racing,
Right.
you know?
And yeah.
And so like I'm really curious as to like where it's gonna go. Uh, but there's something that like really to me kind of you said it actually the other day. You were said, Verstappen's win is almost overshadowed by this
Yeah.
decision
By
making.
the yeah. It's almost overshadowed, and it's almost feels like Michael Masi hand him the championship as a
Yeah.
gift. In
Yeah.
fact, yeah,
Which
that's still my thought because we all see the last race. If nothing doesn't happen, even if what's his name, Nicholas Latifi, even if he, is it, even if that crash happens again, I think he will still be the same
yeah.
for Max. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a reason why Mercedes didn't, Pitt didn't put on new tires.
Yeah.
They were expecting the ruling to be a certain way.
To certain, yes.
And
And that's what we thought as well, because we the the sports is go by the rules
right.
apparently, but now it doesn't look like it's go by the rules. It looks like it's go by someone's emotion,
Yeah.
which is Michael Masi.
Yeah. And
And
we don't know if he was strong armed, by Red Bull into making that decision. I know Red Bull has made threats, saying like, oh, if things aren't called a certain way, we won't return, which I think is BS. You shouldn't be able to influence decision making that way. And Mercedes has made similar threats as well,
Yeah.
But now we're looking at a future where, Lewis Hamilton has completely gone off the radar.
All silence from social media, off the radars from social media.
Yeah, and we have no idea if he's going to even return despite his contract,
Yeah.
I mean,
I would love to see him return, but his decision is his decision. We can't force him.
it's such a bittersweet situation, right? Because think about it like this. He put in 14 years. This was supposed to be the cherry on top. I mean, for God's sakes, he was leading Verstappen
Leading the
10 to
whole
14
race.
seconds ahead.
Yeah.
And it got pulled away in a last-minute decision, that was
And that
highly
decision
controversial.
And also, don't forget to mention that decision has been changed
True.
several times.
True.
It's not like, oh, we're gonna give you this, but it's that he has that Michael Masi has that decision for not allowing the driver to unlap themselves.
Right.
But then he changed it to allow him only between Verstappen and Hamilton's car
Right.
can unlap himself, which is totally. It's like, come on, man, what
Where the hell did you come up with that logic?
Yeah, and and I get it because he wants to have a green flag race for the finale, but that's not how you do it.
No, that's not how you do it. You don't you don't have two boxers in the ring. One guy is just pummeling the other dude, and then you say, you know what? You who's winning both in points and in just brute strength, let me tie your hands behind you
And then
let the guy just
and someone
beat
can hit you for a few punch. Yeah,
that's what Massey basically did,
this just the whole situation just doesn't make sense to me. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, how in the world can you get that idea? How do you what It's like my brain cannot turn around. Like, it's very hard to imagine, and I'm pretty sure he's got some pressure from both teams and Netflix and all that stuff and the fans as well. But there's so many decisions that can change. There's so many ways to make this decision different.
Yeah. I agree, and I don't know, man. I'm gonna call it and say it. I've been saying it privately. This will be, I think, the first time I've said it in an F1 talk. But Michael Massey's a fucking clown, like straight up. Like that's why, at least for me, when I saw that news, even though it was like I discovered it was a joke later, I was like, holy crap, how do you keep Massey on? How do you keep a clown deciding racing? Like
Exactly.
If you wanted to put him in charge of like wrestling, like WWE, WWF, like that kind of stuff, where it's made for show, it's made for TV, fine. He made the right kind of decision. But that's not F1. F1 is racing. It's sporting. There are rules. There are regulations. Like, if we wanted to have unlimited class with no rules, then we would have that. But that's not F1.
Right.
So
I mean, even 3 days, 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks pass, 3 weeks, whatever. Even 3 weeks pass, I still cannot imagine. I still cannot believe how the race ended.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, it's not crazy, but it's just I feel sorry for Mercedes, to be honest with you. I feel sorry for Mercedes. I feel sad for Mercedes because their championship, like Hamilton is in control for the whole race, like you say, in control from the start of the race, and he drive brilliantly for the last 4 races. Verstappen cannot even catch up with him.
Yeah.
And the split decision by the steward, by Michael Masi, it just changed his life, changes situations. It's crazy.
Yeah. 100%. I agree. I agree.
And even I remember we talked about this. Even a few drivers actually say that this is unacceptable. This decision is unacceptable. And which is very true. It's nobody likes it. Nobody is happy with it. Only I guess only Red Bull themselves is happy at this decision.
Yeah. Dude, for me, I feel most sorry for Hamilton, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. Mercedes team, Toto Wolff, all of them, like, my heart goes out to them, you know? Yeah. They ran an incredibly good race, especially like you said, the last 4 even were just phenomenal. They stepped up their game massively.
No one can catch up with them. Even Max cannot catch up with them.
Yeah. And even Hamilton, he played by some of the same rules that Max played, and he showed that, like, oh, if I leverage and kind of tweak the rules just like the way Max did, he can extend his lead just enormously.
Right.
You know, 10 seconds in an F1 race is it's massive lead. Lot. 14 seconds is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, for me, my heart goes out to Hamilton because at least if he had finished this year, you know, that would have been the cherry on top, that he could have retired without any cloud, perfect. No negativity, any of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But now he's being, like, forced into a decision of, like, okay, do I come back and I protect my legacy, and maybe the rulings and, like, all of this stuff are going to be as stupid as they were this last year, you know? Or maybe they'll get better, or maybe they'll just completely change. He doesn't have, like, a clear picture of what to expect, right?
Right.
And if he doesn't, if he chooses to retire and no longer race, then he's going out as a loser on some level.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And cheated almost out of his legacy, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a crappy position. Like, this is why I consider Masi to be a clown. Literally, he's a clown, you know?
Yeah.
In one moment, he swung so many people's lives so dramatically, you know, with so far no consequences, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but generally, like, in any workplace, you do something like that, you're fired, dude. You're out of there.
Yeah. It's like for us, we're just watching the sports, but for them, it's their life, it's their jobs.
Yeah.
All the job is their job. He is losing his job because of a decision a boss made.
Yeah.
He is losing a job because of that, which is crazy to think about because, you know, it's because they, like, come on, man. They lose their job. Their entire life is depend on this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I don't, for me, I I hate to be like ruthless about it, but I really hope the worst happens to Masi. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I actually hope he listened to us somehow or
Right?
some way. Yeah, like Michael Masi, if you want to come back, be neutral. Be neutral. Don't just have, on side, like pick a side. No, be in the middle
Man,
and rule and rule it better.
I won't even give him the benefit of saying come back. No, go hang your head in shame. Get out of racing. You do not have a place in making judgment calls at all.
You do not deserve you do not deserve this. This is not your place to stay.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
have no place in this business. Period. You know, and really, his future in F1 should be done. He should be blacklisted from the sport. Clearly, he has no capacity for making good, fair, sound decisions
Fair
when the
fair
heat
is
is
a-
on. You know.
Yeah, fair is the really fit word in
Yeah.
this situation. Yeah, fair. I mean, I don't care under the right circumstances. I don't care if Lewis Hamilton lost to Max. If it's fair, I will take it.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
But this is not. But the situation is not like this. It's the other way around. It's not
Exactly.
fair. Totally not fair. Yeah.
Dude, even Christian Horner was talking about how he missed the former race director, how all of the rulings were so inconsistent and all over the place throughout the whole season. You know?
Yeah.
No, he has no place in high stakes racing, you know? Period. Go be a steward at some local autocross, competition. Get out of
Yeah.
F1, get out of F2, F3. You have no place here, literally. He is a clown. And as a matter of fact, our little, our thumbnail, I'm going to do
put his face.
his face with a clown,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
He's unacceptable. The way he performs
Yes.
as a race director in the peak of motor racing. No, this is unacceptable.
At this level, yeah, you said it perfectly. At the peak of motor racing, like, come on,
Yeah, it's unacceptable.
dude. You know what came back to me was Saudi Arabia, the rear-ending incident between Verstappen and Hamilton, right?
And Hamilton, yeah.
I'll never forget Maxi coming on the radio, and he communicated to Red Bull, didn't communicate in time to Mercedes, and then he said, "Oh, we can only hit so many buttons," or at this
Exactly.
It's like what the
really?
hell? Who says that at this level of racing?
And like the other things that I really don't like is that Michael Masi, you are a race director. You don't get to, I mean, the team doesn't. You don't get to negotiate with the team. You make the right decision with the right call. Don't do any negotiations. That's not racing. That's just trying to get your your paycheck.
Yeah.
It's like same in Saudi Arabia. I think it's what is that called?
I know
off
what you're
the
talking
track
about.
and stuff. Yeah, and then I remember it's either Christian Horner or Max's engineer is trying to negotiate to Masi, and Masi is like, okay, let me think about it. Really? Come on. Think about it.
Yeah, Maxi said, "Oh yeah, you can give up, 5 positions or whatever, and we don't need to get the stewards involved." It's like, wait, what? Like, aren't you supposed to make the judgments? And if a lot of people came out and said, "Oh, this is typical in racing."
No, that's not.
This is the
typical
peak
in racing.
of racing. This is the peak.
You
Make
need
a
to
call.
be. You need to be very, very certain and direct on what you are calling.
Thank you.
It's not you. You cannot. Even the team cannot communication to the stewards. They should just, I mean, they are going to ban the radio communication between the teams and the stewards, which is a good thing, because I think that's the reason why everything's ruined because of this.
I think it's a big factor. I mean, Horner was playing that all season long, you know.
I mean, we can still
on the radio
to
make his case
to chit chat with Michael Masi.
Yeah. You know, which was, I mean, there was a lot of times you and me were like, dude, Christian, shut up, dude. Like, they made the decisions, you know?
Yeah. And not only he make the decision, he changed his mind after that decision.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because of someone is talking to him.
Yeah.
It's...
Dude, and that's the thing, you know, like, how many billions of dollars are involved in this sport? You know, you can't have wishy-washiness. There's too much on the line, man. Like, you and I were talking about it with Mercedes and the Project One. All of their work that they're doing in this racing season is trickling down and is going to go into the marketing for the Project One. So this is not just about the racing. It's also about their next production, like hypercar, and
it's their life. It's their career, their future.
The future of a freaking company.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
in my opinion, sorry for Max's fan out there. In my opinion, he's the real champion.
Yeah.
Michael Masi is the real champion 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got away.
He got what he wants.
Yeah.
He got what he wants. He got all the fans. He got his new champ. He got his Netflix going.
Yeah.
He got his new fans coming, basically.
Dude, and that to me, it's so like crazy to me. Also, like the Verstappen fans who are like banging the drum saying, "Oh yeah, you know, Verstappen won." Like, yeah, he did. Okay, fine. You and I have said it before. Is he a talented racer? Yes, he is. Does he push the limits of the rules and all of that stuff?
Absolutely.
Yes, he does, right? But at the same time, the way he won was just, it's completely overshadowed by...
Yeah. See, no one is talking about Max's...
Yeah.
No one is talking about Max's championship.
Yeah, literally.
Everybody is talking about Michael Masi.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
And the FIA.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What the new director, Suleiman, God, I'm so bad, especially being like Middle Eastern. I should have this name. Like
the way I saw this is that no matter who is the director for next season, the FIA needs to change certain rules for the directors to follow.
Yeah, 100%.
So that the director doesn't interfere in the race.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Because clearly, FIA doesn't have that clear rule for the director. I mean, director needs to have the rule for the Formula One to go, but director itself needs to have a rule by the FIA so that it doesn't interfere the race, the competitions.
Yeah. And dude, I mean, I really love even Toto Wolff, like 2 weeks ago, was saying, like, I have no desire to have a sit-down or conversation with Masi, whatsoever. And honestly, because I think, like, Toto Wolff would just go off on him. You know,
he's gonna punch him in the face.
Exactly what I was thinking. I was like, dude, I would love to see Toto Wolff just punch Masi. You know, that may even be good for the thumbnail
for Netflix,
like,
and also for Netflix as well.
Yeah, dude, seriously,
it's I don't know, man. I don't really know what to expect next season. other than a new car, because clearly the FIA and the steward has their own way of ruling the sports to give a new fans and give a new champion. Clearly, we see that very clear, like loud and clear this season.
Well, that's the thing. I think that they really need to address it, and they still have a fundamental problem with a champion completely running away with like leads, right? Like we talked about it before. We saw it with Schumacher. We saw it now with Hamilton, and okay, these guys are incredibly talented, yada yada yada, you don't want to necessarily like take that away from them. But I've been thinking, I've seen it in other forms of racing. I don't know how valid it would be for F1, but it would be really interesting to see that, like, if you won the race, let's say by 10 seconds, right? They would apply a weight penalty to your car for the next race, right? Because like clearly you're so far ahead, or an intake restriction on your car for the next race, something like that, in order to tighten the pack up.
I understand what you say, but this is kind of like the reverse race situation, reverse sprint race situation, reverse grid actually, because right, because a team is fast, they are fast, the driver is fast, is because they are fast. It's not like they are cheating, right?
Right.
And then because they are fast, and then you don't want them to be fast. It's like, oh, you're too fast, you're too smart, don't be too smart.
Right.
And then take a brain out of him.
Yeah.
It's I'm pretty sure a lot of fans are not gonna like that, but that's a reality.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's just, I know that there is there's definitely a correlation between fan engagement with the sport and like even enjoyment of the sport and the lack of or amount of like wheel to wheel battles, right? So if you can find an equalizing factor, I know they've tried to do that to some degree with like capping the spending, so like one team can't like dump 500 million while another team can only afford 10 million, or whatever the numbers are. But like,
I also
at the same time, I feel there does need to be some degree of equalization,
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
I know that the new F1 car is supposed to do that to a certain degree, but I've been reading reports from different people that are saying it's not going to make as much of a difference as the FIA has been saying,
Yeah, I think so too, because they are all car company and they are all like historical car companies. Yeah. They will find a way to make the engine more powerful and going from the dark gray area. Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's literally where Gordon Murray, the maker of the McLaren F1, that's where he got his name in F1 racing, was because he exploited the gray areas of racing to such an extreme, and the current generation are all descendants of Murray's thinking,
Right.
So of course they're gonna find ways around the limitations of the car. Like there's no question about it.
I still think that their rules and the way they referee the race needs to be very, very clear, loud and clear, so that it's very strict. Like 1, 2, 3, it's 1, 2, 3. There's no 1.5, there's no 2.5, or there's no 1.25 or something. Just 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3. And you cannot do communications. You cannot do or even like get someone else to do it, just not Michael Masi.
Yeah. I mean, really, like, I don't know. I think there is a lot that needs to evolve,
to be addressed and
For
to
sure.
be addressed for sure. Yeah, even
100
it's even 2016 champion Nico Rosberg says that on the radio in Abu Dhabi. He says that it sounds like Michael Masi has been pressured by the Red Bull.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what he said, loud and clear. That's what he said. Even a guy that is not racing anymore, he can sense that pressure.
Yeah.
From from in the race that
Yeah.
they wanted to have a new champion,
Yeah.
a new star, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I get it. Verstappen is bringing in like a whole new batch of fans, a whole batch of like new people. You know, we've mentioned it before, but it was like Valentino Rossi when he came into MotoGP. He was a hyper aggressive, rider, and he was very forceful on the track. In a lot of ways, like Verstappen is. And he was controversial and this and that.
Yeah.
And, it brought me, for example, to MotoGP. I didn't care about MotoGP until I
started
saw
watching
Rossi ride.
My first guy to know is Valentino Rossi from the MotoGP, yeah.
There you go. Perfect, And so, like, I get it. I totally get it from, like, a racing organization agenda. This is new fans, new money, new, people buying seats at the races, buying merchandise, all of that stuff. Subscribing to the F1.com, like subscription service,
Mm-hmm.
That's great, but it needs to be done by the rules,
Yeah. Needs to be done by the rules. Yeah.
Because at the same
100%.
time, by doing all of that stuff, if that flips against Verstappen in the future, all of the people are going to say, oh, well, wait a second, what's happening with the rulings? Like, you're
Right.
going to lose those fans immediately to the bad judgment calls, know?
Yeah.
And they're going to say F1, the pinnacle of racing, is a joke.
It's a joke. Yeah, exactly. It's a joke.
You
For
know?
me, it's a joke for this year. I mean,
Oh,
at least
definitely.
for yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I look at it like it's like, so what's the point of racing if you can just decide it if the championship can just decide it by the FIA? It's like handing him a championship trophy.
Yeah.
And it's like, here you go, Max.
Why
here you go,
have the whole season?
Red Bull. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? No,
Yeah.
it was a complete and total circus, and Masi was the head clown.
He's a real championship. He's a real champion 2021.
Yeah. I
Like,
completely agree.
it would be so funny if Formula One games put a Michael Masi's head on the cover of the if the game.
Dude, I'd love to see that, like
Yeah.
F1
And then
2022, Michael Masi's face,
2033, yeah, Michael Masi with Hamilton and Verstappen on the side.
Yeah, exactly. He's the center point. He's the focus.
Yep.
And in the middle of the racing, you gotta try and influence him,
Yeah,
Dude, that's
I'm pretty sure
jokes.
people are not gonna like that. That's for sure.
But-
I don't even think Max's fans gonna like that.
Yeah,
Because-
100%.
Yeah, it's like the FIA. Michael Masi is one of the on his own team.
Yeah,
So
he
there's
is. And
there's
he's
actually
just-
there is actually 11 teams. The last one is Michael Masi.
Yeah. Michael Masi and the faceless stewards,
Yep.
just like
Yep.
man, I without being vulgar, really, like he's just a clown, and I really aggressively maintain there's just no place for a clown in the pinnacle of racing. Period.
Yeah.
Period. It was just, it wasn't frustrating that Hamilton lost. It was frustrating that Hamilton lost by a complete change of calls. That's
frustrating.
Really what it was.
It's frustrating that Hamilton lost by the rules.
No, he didn't even lose technically by the rules, though.
I mean, he's ruled by the rulings. Yeah, ruling. Yeah, by the rulings. Yeah, there you go. By the rulings. It's like, okay, we're playing basketball, and then there's a referee who says, "Oh, your last shot doesn't count," even though the shot went in. It's like that. For me, it's like that.
100%. 100%. That's a really good way of describing it.
Yeah, it's like that. Even though like you shot before the buzzer, and then the referee says, "Oh, your shot is not a perfect shot, then it doesn't count."
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like
yeah, yeah, man.
Right? It's
such a weird ruling. So, anyways, let us know what you think in the comments. We've definitely, obviously, we've had a lot of conversations about this even before this recording, but we decided to kind of we sat down and we said, this has been such a hot button issue. There hasn't been, it's the 30th, in the evening right now, and there still hasn't been a decision on the future of Masi and where he's going.
And
Hamilton is completely MIA, So let us know what you think, where things are going to go for 2022.
And it's only like, 50 days, 50 plus days left for a new season to start. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
Everything is so up in the air. Like, I mean, think about it. The previous champion may not return. The race director may or may not return. The rules are going to be heavily revised and addressed by the new incoming FIA director. There's a new car. 2022 is going to be nuts.
Totally different era. It's a different era, but hopefully not by the same rules.
yeah, for sure. So,
I mean, it's like the rule doesn't change. It's Michael Masi is changing the rules.
Yeah. Exactly.
The rule book doesn't change. It says loud and clear that you should not be passed. You should not be on lap. You are not allowed to on lap. Or even the safety car needs to go interpret the following lap.
Yeah.
See, two.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of a sudden, all these rules are just gone in the air. And then Michael Masi just all of a sudden decided to put in his own rules.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely the craziest calls that I've ever seen in racing. Craziest
I have
calls
ever seen in sports. In sports, like the whole sports community, the whole sports, basketball, soccer, NFL, all that stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy, absolutely crunk. It's
beyond nuts. Beyond
way beyond nuts.
So
anyway, man,
let us know in the comments. We both, myself and Joe, want to thank you if you guys have been tuning in to us and following these two random guys who you never saw before, talking about F1.
Hey, it's good to talk about F1. It's good to talk about sports, right?
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys, I guess, next season, Formula 1 2022.
Yeah. Definitely. Right? Looking forward to it. At the very least, it's going to be interesting.
Yep. And have a happy new year, guys.
Yeah, man. Be safe.
Stay safe.
Yeah,
Yep.
be safe. Don't drink too much. I mean, definitely have fun. And
That's not
don't,
gonna happen.
but definitely don't drink and drive. Be
Yep.
safe out
Yep.
there, and spend your New Year's with people you love and you care about. All
Yep.
right?
And one more teasers. You might see us playing some racing games, streaming.
Yes.
You hear that?
Yes. Speaking of, I have something to show you after this.
Yep. All right. See you guys. Have a great evening. Have a great morning. Have a good night. Whatever. Like in any country you're watching this, but we appreciate you. That's it.
Yeah. We definitely thank you. We definitely thank you. All right, you guys.
All
Take
right.
care.
See ya. Bye bye.